All right. All right. All right. A way that seems right. All right. That me? All right. I think you have a way that seems right. Yeah, you need to go ahead. All right. That me? Yeah. All right. I think you have a way that seems right. Yeah, you need to go ahead. That right there. You got to mute that. Yeah. There we go. Now we got to edit. I'm gonna have to give that job to somebody. Baruch Hashem Yahuah. Hallelujah. Giving all thanks and honor to the Most High Yah for being here today. You know, because I know last week this time I wasn't doing all that hot. But I thank Father. Woo. I thank you for your mercy and I thank you for your favor shown towards me and my family and for all those that are here. As I was explaining on my way here, you know, the importance of the gathering. So you know, like sometimes you think this is like the most important part of this gathering. It's hearing the word, but it's beyond that. The important part of the gathering is us being here, right? Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves, growing together, right, in a community. Like, you know, we don't have that ability this now to be where we live together and we see each other every day and we're sharing with one another and helping one another in those kind of ways and capacities. But this is like this being together is the thing that binds us together. So it's not going to be for you long. A way that seems right. It's my topic for the day. The disclaimer as stated. I'm just going to read the little part there in the middle. Remember 2 Timothy 3:16, all scriptures breathed out by Elohim and profitable for teaching and reproof and for correction and for training in righteousness. So let's keep that in mind every time we hear the word, no matter who's up here bringing it. That's what it's for. It's for our benefit, for our training. You always take it to heart for yourself. And we say, what does it need? What do you need as a foundation, right? So it's about applying these things that we're learning. And if we don't apply it, then it doesn't manifest in our lives. And it's not easy. If you think, oh, I got that, that's easy. I got that easy. But then when the test time comes, and it always comes, and you fail the test, it's because you say, well, I knew I should have did that, but I didn't do it. Rules to be used. Please keep the mic muted except when asking a question. Use the mic to speak. There's a feature in the Zoom where you can raise your hand if you have a question. All questions must be on the topic. You have 60 seconds to ask or answer a question. If you pass your 60-second window, your mic will be muted for you. For those that are in the room, you have 60 seconds to ask or answer a question. There's a mic at each table that can be used. All statements in the room must be limited to 20 seconds. The microphones on the table can be used to share with others that may not hear you online. These rules are due to the time and the recordings of the lessons. These are live teachings. We must give the Mori enough time to complete the lesson. This will be mixed with discussion to help build one another. Please do not abuse the time. Amen. All right. First question. Have you ever heard the saying, the ends justify the means? What does that mean? Give me a microphone. Anybody want to answer the question?
It means you got to do what you got to do to get done.
Oh, okay. That's one definition. You got some?
It means that anything that you do to get to that result is worth it. Everything you do to get.
Okay, that's another meaning. That's another way of looking at it. What you got?
Actions speak louder than words.
Actions speak louder than words. That's something. You had something? Who else? See another? Nobody? Okay. All right. So, this is a quote or a paraphrase from a Machiavellian saying. Machiavelli. Anybody who knows who Machiavelli is? Go ahead. Don't he's gonna say Tupac. Go ahead. All right, I'm going to give you the. All right, all right, all right. So it means that if a goal is morally important enough, any method of getting it is acceptable. Is that true or false? If it's morally important enough, any method of getting it is acceptable. Now, that is the way the world works, right? We have an issue with, or they want to give us an issue. Hey, it's overpopulated. What's the best way to get rid of it? Right? Huh? Yeah. We ain't got enough food to feed everybody. What we do? Kill everybody. That don't make sense, does it? All right. But there's a term used in the field of ethics and consequentialism. Who knows the definition of that? You heard that word before? Consequentialism? No? Give me a definition. Out. See if we're gonna match.
Okay, let's see. It says it's the doctrine that the morality of an action is to be judged solely by its consequences.
Oh, okay, that's good. Nobody else? I don't think anybody else. Oh, we got. Did I missing people online?
Yeah, Maury, you've been missing
Amana,
us. It's
sorry.
okay. I'll put my hand down.
I didn't hear anything.
Stepchildren.
You passing it up? No? Okay. Consequentialism. All right, here we go. The moral value of an action can be judged by looking at the consequences it has. Is that a true statement? The moral value of an action can be judged by looking at the consequence it has. No. Okay. You got is it?
Okay.
Now hold on. Okay. I went in the room. You want to wait to add her? I go, Namana, go ahead. Gonna add to this. Add value to it.
Maury, so the moral value of an action can be judged by looking at the consequences it has. One of the big consequential theories is called Unitarism.
Yeah.
Ken.
Yeah. Okay. That's what.
Ken.
Yeah. All right. So what do you got, Aki? What do you think?
All right. So without going too deep into like all this, if we're just looking at consequentialism, if the consequence or if the effect that you're looking for, the goal is the Father's goal, he already has given you the instructions on how to achieve that goal.
Mm-hmm.
So from that sense, you're looking at it from the consequences that he has, whether good or bad, then it would be right. But if you're just looking solely at the world's consequences or what your consequences would be, then you may not have the proper judgment to make that decision. But, you know, again, if you're only looking at yourself, then you might feel that's right, even if it's not.
Oh, okay. That's a good answer. Let's look at the theory, utilitarianism. So what do you think that is? It's your best shot.
I'm the only hand.
Okay. Because it's a part of the theory.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I've looked at this right here.
Of this consequence.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've looked at this, but I believe it's pretty much like how useful it is.
Yeah. He took the first of it, you too. Yeah. How useful something is. All right. So let's see how they determine it. Oh, okay. Two online, Namana.
Well, it's like, well, if they're going to deny the word of the Father, you know, if they're going to deny the word of the Father, then, you know, it just depends. Like you said, it definitely depends. If they're going to deny the Father's doctrine, you know, then that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, and also this, you know, it's like they got to believe in the Father that he's that he's the single, that he's the most high.
Okay.
You know.
Does that explain utilitarianism? No, it doesn't. No. Okay. Well, I got you. I understand what you're saying, because I know when we're in this class, every time we come here, we always think of everything from a biblical standpoint. We go straight to the Bible without thinking. realizing that we're in this world, but we're not, you know what I'm saying? We have to define what this is because we're interacting with it in the world around us. So we'll know, be able to, so we know that we're, so that we know that we're what we're dealing with. So, Yahushua,
Yeah, sometimes it's if the actions that we're doing kind of benefits like the majority of people, or you know what I mean, something like that.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah.
You got one?
So it says that
Oh,
it's a
good.
doctrine that actions are right if they are useful or of a benefit of the majority.
Ah, so if I grow meat in a lab, is that useful for the majority?
Yeah.
Become more it can, because
So-
you're serving the masses.
I could say a lot, but I got to stay in a minute. All right. So hold on. Let me start my time. Okay. So from our point of view, no, because our morality is coming from Yahuah. From people outside of that, they don't have Yahuah to depend on. So they're looking at, I have to solve this problem myself. So because they feel that they have to solve the problem themselves, growing the meat in the lab for them is a solution to world hunger, even though the morality of growing the meat in the lab in and of itself is questionable. They're looking at the end as opposed to how they got there.
Are we really looking at the consequences? Because what about all the health issues that's come up? All right. This is not where this is not the whole. That's where the lesson's going. But I just it kind of I'm gonna give you a definition in a minute.
Just to comment, on the
Go ahead.
like without really looking into a specific biblical lens, so to speak. I can see how that can reign true in anything, that the moral value of an action can be judged by looking at the consequences. Because, for example, if you don't go to school, you're not going to graduate. That has nothing to do with anything spiritual, so to speak, but it still reigns true. If you don't exercise, you won't be in shape. If you don't practice something, you're not going to get better at it. So the value of it is looking at, well, what's going to be the end result? And if this is going to be the end result, then these are the steps I have to take to get to that end result. So.
I agree. What if I'm in great shape, exercise every day, and then I drop dead? The consequence of me exercising, maybe, is it the consequence of me exercising? And then you autopsy and I'm perfectly healthy.
It might be the consequences of your younger self clogging those arteries before you started to work out.
Yeah, it could be. It could have. It did a lot of damage when I was younger. What do you got?
Just be who was saying it's time for you to go, and there was nothing that you could have done anyway.
End of the time. End of time could be. Yeah. We're looking at an action and we're looking at a consequence. All right. So here is the view that the right thing to do is whatever is most useful. That was the answer. And it's a philosophical position about ethics. The word utilitarianism comes from the word utility, which means usefulness. In most forms, increasing the human well-being or happiness are called useful. Anything that can increase our well-being and happiness, they call it useful. Now, is that true? Anything that can increase our well-being and happiness is useful. We got hand on high. Lamadyahu, what you got?
Shalom. Shalom. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was to the response to your former question. I was going to say too much of anything is not good. Because you was asked what if a person is healthy, they working out and they pass away. We have to use everything in moderation. We have to do even our spiritual walk. We can't be heavily minded and earthly no good. So, we have to have a balance. That's all I wanted to say.
Again, I agree. Namana?
Honestly, Kalmori, can you please repeat the question, please?
All I was asking was, is the increase in the human well-being and happiness the things that are useful? The things that increase human well-being and happiness, are those things that they call useful, are they really useful? Is
Well, it kind of
everything to
depends on the
increase happiness and
situation.
well-being?
It depends. It really depends on the situation and how it's used. Because just because it means that it's useful, it depends on how you're looking at it. What do you mean it's useful? From which perspective? So it just depends.
Mm-hmm. All right. So when we're looking at it, let's say, can tribulation be useful?
It can be.
Yeah. Useful. It can discipline be useful. Chastisement, punishment. So anything that we go through,
Yes.
it does make you happy in the end.
Discipline is good. Like as far as like the children, when they cut up, sometimes they're asking for a beating just so they get them some act right.
Yeah. You're grateful for everything, the chastisements that you went through later. Nothing that you go through at the time seems joyful. All right. So let's go here. All the ways of a man are what? Pure. Zach. Right? Ritually cleansed or free from sin or guilt in his own eyes, in your own view, in our own ways. Right? But Yahuah weighs the spirit. Anything that we did prior to coming into the truth, we looked at it from this lens. Whatever made us happy, whatever made us feel good, whatever fulfilled our purpose, our goal in that moment. In relationship wise, it was the same way. We also had the same view here. Every way of a man is right. Yashar, which means it conforms to some moral standard that we have adopted or believe in based on what our parents gave us or something like that, right? In our own eyes. But who weighs or examines the heart? Yahuah, right? So what does that mean to examine? What is he doing? There's this weighing he's doing, the spirit in his heart. It's a comparison. I don't heard nothing in the mic, but I know how my talks go. It's a free for all. Go ahead.
When he's weighing the heart, examining it, he's looking at your true intentions behind what you're doing.
True intentions. Now, Mana, you want to add to that?
Oh, absolutely. He's looking at your true intentions and your motives.
All right, true intentions.
Getting down to the as they say, the meat of the matter. I yield.
The meat of the matter. Now, say all the ways we're gonna focus in on those ways because that's what there's a way that we always think that is right. It's always in our own opinion. Yeah, you get to the heart. You get to the heart. All right. Notice the connection between the spirit and the heart. The Father is the one who knows the intents of an action. No matter what words we use to dress up the outward appearance. I could be smiling and shaking your hand the whole time and saying something totally different. I could be all in your face, you thinking I'm cordial with you, but my heart and my intent towards you is far from what it is. So I'm full of deceit, malice. I'm going to go into that a little bit further, but I want you to understand that you might have a way of doing things when you come in to the truth. And this is for people that are in, and for those that are even in, you might be thinking, I'm doing this right, but Yahuah is actually weighing our actions. All right. There is a way in the word derek. You see it there. A way, a journey, a manner, a custom, behavior, right? This way that seems right to the man or to the person, right? But the end of it is death. Death meaning what? You got destruction, but what death ultimately does for us? Oh, I love that in the mic thing. Yeah. all the quickly in the room.
Death, it cuts you off from Yahuah, separates you from Yahuah.
Yeah, here we go. It also separates more than that, right? From us, from each other. Yeah, yeah. Not even the land of living, just separating spiritually. When we're following our own way, we're not following. Here you are. If I'm a moray and I'm in here doing things that are contrary to the word of Elohim, and I'm engaging with you, and you know what the word says, at some point it's going to cause a separation between you and I. You're not going to really want to be around me because you see that there's a conflict. Maybe it's in me. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be around them because I don't think they're right. But I might be looking at it through my own eyes, my own ways, versus the way of Yahuah. What you got on?
To me about the death being separation. But I remember you said something about that, about the word divorce being separation as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's connected. You know, anything that dies, it separates. Spirit from the body, us from each other. You know, it's death. All right. When there's no governance, one tends to live by the conventional standards and observed by the culture which they live in. There's no governance. There's no absolutes for you. There's no moral standard or right or wrong. It's do whatever you will. Do whatever you like. Whatever is convenient to you. What did your family do? You know, how'd you grow up? What those things that shaped you to be an individual? And we bring all that in to the walk. And now we trying to unpack all that right now, right? That's the whole point. We're unpacking these things, developing our own standard of morality and justice, right and wrong, based on the conduct of those around us. They have all this influence over us. It tells us this is how we should be with people, right? We don't trust people too much. Why? Because I grew up in the streets. For those that grew up in the streets, I around hustlers all the time. I know when people running game. I know when I'm getting the pitch, you know, or I know when somebody's trying to deceive me, or I know when you're just trying to get on my good side and trying to get close to me. So I kind of like question, is this person for real? Can't be that nice. You know, can't be that friendly, whatever. Yeah, what do they want? Right? So just like that, in those days, there was no king here, and everyone did what was right in their own eyes. Scripture reveals that that from one's youth, the intents of the heart has always been evil. So we're going to always go back to what we've been learning. Genesis 8:21, and the wicked and hostile alienated from the womb and go astray from birth, right? The wicked are hostile and alienated from the womb. That means you come out, we say we're shaped in, all right? Right? Yahuah saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth and every intent. What does that word mean? Yeah. We've gone over it before. You got it? What you think?
What the intent means, like what that person wants to do in their heart, like what they believe is right for them.
That's part of it. Right.
Is this the word inclination?
Yeah, same word, inclination. What is the word in Hebrew? It's you remember it? You don't remember it? Namana?
That's because my intent means like, you know, when you do something on purpose, that means you're just doing it, you know, just to do it on purpose. Even though you know it's wrong, it's like object, you're just doing it like on purpose. You're just determined to do it. Period. Done deal. You even though you know it's wrong, you're gonna do it.
It also has to do with creation of things.
Ken. Absolutely.
Right, Google, what you got?
I got Yetzer. It's a framework, an imagination, or it's the mind, or it's like a conception.
Mm-hmm. That's part of the definition. All right. So the heart continued. He knows this from the very beginning. He says, and the wicked are estranged from the womb, and they go astray from birth, speaking lies. Estranged from the womb. So again, it goes back to that. You come into this world and it's just simple. It's easy. You just go, you fall in line. Do you have to teach a baby how to lie? Do you have to teach a child how to steal? you ever teach somebody how to cover their own butt from getting a woman? Yeah. No, you ain't got to do none of that. Why? Because we go astray from the very beginning. Why? Now, if I could put it all into context, it starts out talking about Elims, and it was saying that the Elim have caused this chaos in the earth, and this is one of the consequences of that chaos. This wickedness, being estranged from, pulled away from the right way of Elohim, turned aside from what he would have us to be from the very womb. All right. So when you hear the term wicked, what comes to mind? Evil. I need to, if you're not going to talk to the mic, I'll talk to the mic for you.
Evil.
Evil.
Treacherous.
Treacherous. Namana?
Rebellious.
Rebellious.
Stiff neck.
Stiff neck. Okay. All right. I got a whole, I'm gonna put some up here, some adjectives up here. Tobias.
We neglect these words too, but these apply laziness and selfishness.
Oh, yes. Yahushua.
Yep, deceit and slothful.
Deceit and slothful. Yes. That wicked. Let me keep going. Let me get to the question. All right. Here's the adjectives. You hit a lot of them, right? So moral, iniquitous, sinful, unlawful, righteous, vicious. Can you be vicious? Wicked is vicious. Meaning, how can you be vicious and wicked? No mercy?
Like, yeah, no mercy, like not even caring about that person, like no type of love toward them.
Okay. How do we show that? All right, Namana.
Wow, that's a horrible word, to be vicious. I mean, you can just be cruel and just violent, like brutal, just like a ferocious dog, you know what I mean? Just without any kind of.
So in other words, you can lose your cool.
Can.
Anger towards your brother and sister. You lose your cool against someone, get very angry. You become vicious. More Dawood, you got something you want to add to that?
Yes, shalom. Maury, I just wanted to just ask, like, isn't it just a part of general human nature? It's a duality, because the same type of viciousness you can use for righteousness' sake, just as well as it could be used for wickedness' sake. Like, aren't we supposed to be having those attributes and more so moving towards using it for the kingdom of the Most High, because we are fighting against our enemy?
Okay, so is my enemy flesh and blood, or is my enemy spiritual? Mostly. Huh? You can have physical enemies, right? But are you going to be vicious toward them? It's a question. I mean, I'm posing a question. I'm just saying, hey, think about this. We get very boisterous with Shaitan in our prayers, telling him what he's not going to do and how he under our feet. He take your hands off, Yahuah rebuke you and all that. But then when you're dealing with a physical enemy, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to treat them? Especially if this physical enemy might be your brother. All right. Just thinking about who we got, Namana.
Shalom, Maury, but we fight not against flesh and blood, but on rulers on high places. So we're actually fighting against spirits that are actually in people. So that's what we're fighting against.
In people? In ourselves?
Ken.
Yahushua.
Yeah, a lot of times when you're using vicious, it also falls with a violent act, right? Something cruel too,
Okay. That's good. All right. So what is the lamp of wicked? What is the lamp of the wicked? You ever heard that term? Lamp of the wicked? Lamp of the wicked. What do you think that is?
Darkness.
Darkness. Okay. Lamp of the wicked. That's one answer. Nobody? All right. I'll move on. I'll tell you. Don't worry. Mishael. Oh, I know he knows.
False light.
Go ahead, Mishael.
The lamp of the wicked is sin, but we know that for the righteous that the commandment is a lamp and the Torah a light.
Okay, the lamp of the wicked. Okay, Tobias is trying to say something as well, you said? All
I
right.
said false light. I'm sorry.
False light, okay. Yahushua, who?
I think that's in Job 18:6, I believe, or something, 18:5.
You reading it?
No, I don't have it memorized, but
Oh, okay, I thought you might have pulled
no,
it up
yeah,
in the
no,
scripture.
I know, but
All right, let's
it's
just go
around
to
there. Job something like that.
Go ahead.
Interesting direction
Go ahead,
there.
go ahead.
Since our light as righteous people or trying to be righteous people will be Torah,
Mhm.
then if we just use Romans as kind of like a comparison there, then their light would be the law of sin and death.
Oh, okay. That's good. All right. Now
Speak up, Maury. I believe wouldn't that, I think that's like Proverbs 10:27, I believe.
okay, she looked it up.
Yeah, I did. Hallelujah. The fear of Elohim prolongs the life, but the years of the wicked will be cut short.
Uh-huh.
So
So-
that means that if you know, well, it's self-explanatory. I'm not going to take up too much time.
Okay. So Proverbs 21:4. Haughty eyes and a proud heart. The lamp of the wicked are sin. That's what it is. That's what the lamp of the wicked. Identify haughty eyes. What does that mean? Well, it's proud heart. Sure, but okay, there we go. Arrogant. Yes, thank you. That's all right. I already said it.
Arrogant.
All right, an arrogant person being arrogant or insolent about something, right? All right. The questions one must ask himself is, can I identify wickedness in myself? Can you identify wickedness within yourself? I know sometimes it's always easy to eyeball somebody else, but can you see it in yourself? No? Yeah? Yes, no, maybe so. Can you know when you've been wicked? You identify the wickedness? Yasha?
I would say can, yeah, because that's what we're working on every day, daily working on that, recognizing that.
Okay. So we identifying those things. You got one out?
I was going to say sometimes you don't realize it within yourself, and it takes somebody else to point it out to you.
Okay. Yeah. That's the benefit of us being together, because I really don't know you outside of the time, a lot of times, to when I see you. So of course you can do it for like an hour, maybe 4 hours at a time. Yeah. I see you every 6 days or so, 7 days. Oh, you put on the show, and then I don't see you no more, and then next time, go ahead.
Just wanted more clarity on the haughty eyes and the proud heart.
We're gonna get there. All right. He's talking about this arrogance and proud heart. All right. We're gonna get there because this is things that the Most High, he does what? He hates it. Because the Father hates that type of mindset, and the persons who continue in that way have no future. Right? No, so Namana.
Stick out, Maury. You asked the question if we know that we're being wicked. Absolutely, we know when we're being wicked. My mother always say, let your conscience be your guide. That conscience start to kick in, and also the Father be like, yeah, you know what you did was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you did.
But what if your conscience is seared?
Stick out.
What if your conscience is seared? In other words, you've been corrected and corrected about the same thing over and over again. Now you believe that you're doing right, even when you're doing wrong. So can you depend on your conscience in that point?
If you're like that, you're gonna end up like Pharaoh. That's where he was at.
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
But hopefully I'm not like that. I mean, I'm talking in general.
I got you. I got you. I'm talking in general too.
So wouldn't that make you a reprobate mind?
Reprobate. Yeah. In other words, you can no longer tell the difference between right and wrong.
You can't receive correction.
And you can't receive correction. You reproof. You go to the other side. You go to that wicked side. of things. All right. So these are the things that the Father hates. We know them. We should know them. 7 things he called an abomination. I mean, he detests them. I mean, there ain't no such thing. They're not accepted at all. Period. So these are the things that we need to look within ourselves. And again, those haughty eyes, that arrogant way of being, self-righteousness. You know, one of the best examples I can give of haughtiness is the Pharisaic attitude. Remember how the Pharisees were? They're praying out in the streets. They got the phylacteries on. They look very dignified, look good in their outfits. You know, everybody's calling them a rabbi. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's, you know, bowing to them and making way for them. And, you know, one was even praying one time and saying how much he's so grateful that he's not like these sinners and publicans and tax collectors and so forth, being haughty and high-minded. A lying tongue and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans. Do we devise wicked plans? Or do we knowingly devise wicked plans? Do we knowingly devise wicked plans? That's something we got to think about, right? You might think it's a righteous thing.
Yeah, I do. It just come in and slip in there.
But I'm trying to catch you in something. I'm trying to expose something that I don't like. So I'm going to come up with a way to trap you in your words. I'm going to come up in a way to expose something that I think that should be exposed about you as an individual. But what does love supposed to do? Oh, okay.
Speak up, Maury. Wouldn't that be like plotting and planning?
Yeah, heart devises wicked plans. Yeah. Feet that shed the haste to run to do evil. That means you can't, if somebody tells you some juicy news, you know, you can't wait to hear it. You can't wait to go tell it. A false witness that breathes out, right? It means to agitate or set aflame lies. Do we agitate and set aflame lies? Do we start kindle fires from the gossip we just heard? We ain't proved nothing. We only heard one side of the story, but let me tell you what I just heard. This is facts here. All right, this is the facts. So I'm going to what? I'm going to set aflame something that I don't even really know if it's true or not. And then if it comes out that it wasn't true, am I willing to humble myself and say, I was wrong, I spread false information? He's just going to bypass it. All right. The one who sows discord among the brethren. We need to know this like the back. You talk about foundational things. I always talk about foundational things. Why? Because I need to keep it fresh in my mind, because I need dealing with each other. This is what we need to know. Am I doing these things? Can I identify those things when it happens? Can I be like David? If somebody comes to me with something, I'm going to destroy it. In other words, nope, I ain't got time to hear that. We want to talk about it. Let's talk about it with this person. Let's get them together. Let's get both sides and let's hear the whole matter. And if you don't want to do that, that means there might be something I need to identify with you. Brother, what's going on? You need to talk. We need to go with the mores and talk and see about what's happening with you, what's going on, why you want to push this issue. Why it's not necessary to talk about it. Never mind, forget I say anything. You just expose yourself. You just expose it. We know who you are now. I'm not going to throw you out with the bathwater, but I'm going to be more mindful and watchful of you, you know, because when it comes up again, I'm going to say, oh, yeah, I heard so-and-so say this, and I'm going to call you in the room. I'm going to call you as a witness. Where's that? Leviticus what? You've been called to be a witness about something you heard. Leviticus 5:1. See what I'm saying? Foundational. All right. So we talking about learning. What are the things that we need in our foundation? We need to know what it's saying and how it applies and when it applies, so that we'll know how to apply it and when to apply it. Where is that? You know, I ain't asked you to quote the scripture, the whole verse, but just you should know where it is. You shouldn't have to go look it up every time. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute, let me go look this up. I remember them saying something about that. I'm not the one with the best memory in the world, believe me. But I try to put certain things to my mind, and the Ruach does what? And nothing in. All right. Go ahead.
So you going to talk about 21:4? Or are you going to go more into that, or no? That's it.
You want to get some more? Go ahead.
Well, because he has a question.
Haughty eyes, yeah.
He's the haughty eye and the proud heart. What is his question?
Yeah.
Was you going into that?
No, go ahead. Good.
Okay. So let me go ahead and keep my hand up, because you said when you raise your hand, you got 30 seconds, right? So so it's going to be longer.
20 seconds?
Yeah, I'm going to be longer than the 60 seconds.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'll just keep my hand up. Okay. All right. So the haughty eye. Right? So we understand that it's not talking about our literal eye, right? Everyone's in agreement to that. Haughty meaning proud, or you have a high level of thinking. You think you're higher in your mind, in your eyes, if you will. You think you're higher than this person, right? This is leaning towards what this lamp is. Then it says a proud heart. Now, the word proud, Rehoboth, literally means something that is wide. Someone that he can go in any direction. It's non-directional. It's a proud way. I can do what I want. So then if this lamp, it says in the lamp of the wicked are sin. So this person believes that he has all the sense. He knows everything. He can say it from his heart, any direction he like. You need to believe it. But what the part I want to really get to is, if this is any direction, as it says in the Hebrew, there's no direction, then that's why it becomes sin, because sin is what? Sin has direction. The word tells you what sin is. The proud and the haughty is not going after what the word says. So their mind is broad, like they know more than the Torah. They know more than the script. They're so proud of whatever education that they have, and they want to be able to share it through the way that they see it. But then if you question them, well, where did I read that from? And then all of a sudden you get this attitude. Well, now you're bringing that proud portion into it, because now they got to figure out, I got to grab this from any direction because you just caught me, right? And then you wind up seeing that person's lamp is wicked, thereby them giving you, literally showing you what sin is, what's in their heart, but trying to have you agree to that nonsense.
But if you don't know what it says, you don't know how to catch that. Yeah, I know you said something, man. Sometimes it be real.
Sometimes I can relate, because sometimes people be very skilled with their wordplay, and they can catch a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, especially if they're not ready, they're not prepared, they're not grounded in the word. And you can get caught up if a person just really knows how to make things sound good and that makes sense. But if it's not founded in the word, then of course it don't make sense.
Well, that's why we just listen. You take everything in consideration. Let me hear what you got to say. If you don't know anything, be quiet, and then go back and research. Right? They said, well, I'm gonna think on that, and I'll get back with you. And after you're in your prayer and your study time, you're able to answer the question if it's outside of out of bounds. That's a different lamp. Namana?
As we come, Maury, that's why it's written. I don't remember where it's written, but the Father says, test all things.
Yes.
We have to test all things, no matter what people are saying, and look in the scriptures and see where it is. And slow to speak and slow to anger. So, our listening skills have got to be on point.
All right. Got to be on point. Like I say, again, you got to know what you're hearing. All right. One who sows discord, controversy, confusion, or quarrels against the brothers. That's what he hates. All right. This scoffing, I want to show that the scoffer, or this breathing out, it's the same word there, to set the city aflame, but the wise turns away wrath. What kind of answer turns away wrath? Okay. I'm almost done. Don't worry. Soft. Yeah, soft answer. All right. And then here, to close out of that, he said, for the evil man has no future. The lamp of the wicked will be put out. It will be vanquished. All right. What is the difference between a foolish person and a wise one? Are you a foolish person or a wise person? Which one are you? What's the difference? How you can tell? Who we got? You got Nelmana and who else? Okay. Difference between a foolish person and a wise one. Nelmana?
Shalom, Mari. A foolish person resists instructions and resists any kind of knowledge. A wise person listens and always seeking knowledge.
Always seeking knowledge. It's good answers. Or the woo?
A foolish person is a wicked person, and a wise person is a righteous person.
Okay. Michelle. Hold on. Go ahead. I got in the house room. I got in the room first.
The fear of Yahuah, the beginning of wisdom.
Okay. And that's the difference between it's the wise, but what's the foolish?
Don't fear Yahuah.
All right. What you got,
Yeah, I'll lamb back what Lamadyahu said, that someone that's wise, they have the fear of Yahuah, but also the practical application of his word. Whereas the foolish is, wise in their own eyes, leaning to their own understanding.
Okay. What you got?
So a foolish person is someone who has the information they need to make a good decision, but they make the wrong decision anyway.
Okay.
And a wise person is someone who takes the information they have to make the correct decision.
Oh, okay. You apply the information. All right. So represent the house well. So, all right. So my answer is real simple. I'm gonna give you a very simple one. Very simple. What's the way of a fool? Avel. He's right in his own eyes. But what? A wise man does what? He listens to advice. He's going to listen to that advice. He's going to take whatever the wise counsel is and listen to it. But the fool is Avel. There's differences in fools. We're going to see that here. Foolish or an idiot, they believe they're right in their own eyes. You got
Can you pronounce that word for me?
Avel.
Avel?
Yeah, Avel. All right. I didn't have no Nakud up there, but Avil, Avel, Vil, because it's let's see. What's the difference? There's also a difference between foolish and stupid. Yeah. There's a difference between foolish and stupid. Yeah. All right. So here's one for you. It kind of shows you the difference there. Better was a poor and wise youth than an old foolish, Hasil, a stupid or arrogant, right? King who no longer knew how to take advice. And I know it all already. I got that already. I know that. Give me something I don't know. But then you watching them fumble something that's simple. How can you, Nama?
It's a way. I'm just kind of laughing at that because, a foolish person also, they don't have very good judgment skills. That's just a foolish person, and a reasoning person, and a stupid person doesn't have reasoning skills.
You realize he said a foolish old king. He's talking about himself.
Yeah. Right. I mean,
So this is who's writing this? Shlomo. Who was he? He said he got so wise, he got stupid. He's so smart, he's dumb, right? Because he knows what the right thing to do is, but what he did, he failed to do it. Right? That's a stupid person. You know what the right thing is, and you fail to do it. All right. taking advice and accepting instruction is a good thing, especially if you don't have the experience, the knowledge, or understanding of a matter. Right? It says, listen to advice and accept instructions that you may gain wisdom in the future. Paying attention, son? I hope you are. You're going to need this. All right. Listen to advice and accept instruction. All right. So you can gain wisdom in the future. However, you shouldn't take advice from just anyone. All right. Would I take cooking advice from someone that can't cook? Am I going to take automotive advice from someone that don't have any skills with anything dealing with a car? All you got to do is this. I understand some people get experience based on certain things, like a shade tree mechanic. But time going away from shade tree mechanics now. You can't take your 2023 to the shade tree mechanic. You might come back and everything be gone. You can't, nothing ain't working no more. I got it running. All right, you shouldn't take advice from just anyone. You should always seek those knowledge. So, like I'm saying, the ear that listens to life-giving reproofs will dwell among the wise. You always should seek out those who have knowledge. And whose mouth is supposed to keep that knowledge? Oh, come on. Come on. I'm just a simple question, ain't it? All right, Ima.
I speak Kamori. I'm sorry. What was the question?
The wise person.
A wise person. All right. Whose mouth is supposed to keep knowledge? That's a trivia question. Everything I do is trivia, you know that, right? It's to help you remember things. It might seem simple, but then you get stumped on it. Malachi, I'll give you a hint. All right, now, Mana.
The why. I want to also concur what Iman said. The wise.
That's right. The wise. They should be wise. I hope they're wise. Those guys weren't really wise that they was at that time, but he said they should keep knowledge.
Ken.
I was going to say the elders.
The elders, okay. That's the way of saying.
And the
it.
Moraine.
No, the priests, right? All right, that's the. Thank you. Whoever ignores instruction despises himself, but he who listens to reproof gains what? Intelligence. All right, and an intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise, what is seek knowledge. Seek knowledge. All right, so we came into the walk. We didn't always have that knowledge. So we was walking in what? Ignorance. Ignorance is darkness. Darkness and ignorance go hand in hand. All right, decisions made out of ignorance. So, Proverbs 24:12. If you say, behold, we did not know this, right? Does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? You didn't know something. Yahuah knows, like I said, we started the very. He weighs the heart and intentions. You might be thinking you're doing the right thing, and you don't, even when you're coming in the truth, you're going through, you're thinking you're doing the right thing, and then you run into somebody with some knowledge, and they try to give you that information. You have two options. You can receive it, or you can reject reproof. You can scoff at it because you think you already got it, because the last place, they just definitely had it, the whole thing. But when you realize you got to be open to hear whatever the word is saying. You saying this? You said the Bible said that? Let me see that. Where's it written at? Let me look. Okay, I'll take it on. Let me go pray about it. And then, of course, you can go ask somebody that you think that has a little more knowledge than you. Go to your teacher or whatever. Now, after you look it up, look up everything about it. Don't just say, let me ask my moray, or let me ask my pastor. Let me go ask my pastor. That's the common thing. That's still the same thing here. When you say, let me ask my moray, that's just like saying, let me ask my pastor. I'm just trying to tell you. Don't think it's anything different because you think they have more knowledge. They should have some knowledge, yes. But if they come back, you tell them, hey, the brother showed me this. I had a brother say, sister came to me and say, hey, yeah, I was told that the wife should be the crown of her husband's head, and the Moray told me that I was crazy. I didn't know what I was talking about. Leave the teaching to the Morays. And I said, he said that? Really? So I opened up the Bible, showed it where it was written. Right? Oh. So that means he done lost a little confidence. She lost some confidence in him because she thought she was saying something good. He didn't really know it was in the scriptures. So if you don't know, he said, let me look that up. Even us, we hear something they ain't heard heard in a long time or haven't committed it to memory. We have to go back and, what do you think about this, Moray? What do you think about that, Moray? Let me think about that. I'll get back to you. If I know it offhand, I'm going to spot it off. If I don't, I'm going to take it in and say, okay, let me see, where you got that from? Go read it. Oh, yeah. Then it brings it back in my memory. All right. So, does he not know who keeps watch over? Does he who keeps watch over your soul know it not? And will he not repay a man according to his works? So the Most High knows. In our ignorance, we already covered, right? You know the law, right? Y'all know the law? If I didn't put up there, could I say what the law is for ignorance? I don't put it up there now, though. The law of ignorance, right? If anyone sins doing anything that by Yahuwah's commands ought not to be done, though he did not know it, then realize his guilt, he shall bear his iniquity. Once you realize it, you're going to bear your iniquity. But guess what we have? I know it says here, we shall bring it to the priest and ram without blemish and out of the flock or equivalent for the guilt offering. Who is our high priest? Who is our ram? Who's our lamb? Who is our, okay. So he covers all this. So once you come in, all you did was something that the priest shall make an atonement for him, for the mistake that he made unintentionally, and he shall be forgiven. And it is a guilt offering, right? He had indeed incurred a guilt before Yahuwah, but you realize what you did. You asked for, you confess your faults, right? He said he's what? Faithful in? All right. We have an advocate with the Father, right? Check the righteous. All right. So I'm almost finished. This is the last one. Enter into the Father's light. When we talk about light, what are we talking about? And then you see how he look. See what I'm saying? That's what we want to get. This is all basic stuff, But I want you. I home it in. I just nail it every time. That's mine. Home it in. When we talk about light, what we talking about? Mashiach, huh? No. What Mashiach said. Let's see what Mashiach said.
The word is a lamp unto my feet and light into my path.
Yes, you got it. Yeah.
Again, I was trying to say something like that, Mama, but nobody looks.
Mashiach said this, Yochanan 3:19-21. And this is the judgment. The light has come into the world, and the people love the darkness rather than the light because their works were what? Evil. And everyone who does wicked things hate the light. So if you continue to walk in the ways of wickedness, once they have been identified in you, not anybody else. When we come here as individuals to a collective. And we are judged by the Father as individuals within this collective, right? So if you continue on, you hate the light, and it does not come to the light, at least his work should be exposed. That's what the word does. It exposes those things in us, right? But whoever does what is true comes to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that his works have been carried out in Eloah. And my last verse right here. All right. Psalms 36:7-6. How precious is your steadfast love, O Elohim. The children of mankind take refuge in the shadow of your wings. They feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. For with us For with you is the fountain of life, and in your light we do see light. You can't see yourself. Things are not going to be revealed to you if you're not in his word and committing that word to yourself. You ain't gotta know the whole, but just take a little piece, little crumb at a time. Oh, continue your steadfast love to whom? To those who know you. Do you know him? And if you know him, you should want to walk like him. And you should be able to say, he's seen in you. When he sees you, he sees himself. Are you reflecting him? No? All right. Are your righteousness to the uprightness of heart? And with that, I yield. Is there any questions?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
What you
Mari. I
got?
really do. Are you going to continue this teaching, or is this it with this specific topic?
Yes, it always comes back around. It does come back around. What you got, Aki?
All right, so 1 Kings chapter 12. You know the Solomon's son, Rehoboam? If I was him, how would you explain my attributes? Like if I was him.
That's a real abstract question. You got to lay it all the way out. What was his actions? Or read the passage so I can know what we talk. So we all know what you're talking about, because everybody might not be familiar with that. Can you do that for us?
All right, so 1 Kings chapter 12, where Solomon's son was supposed to take advice from the elders, but he took advice from the young man. If I was the man that took advice from the young man, how would you judge me?
All right. So we're talking about, and I had a slide in there about wise advice and foolish advice, but I took it out. All right. So we're talking about the wiser ones or the older ones. They had been around, they knew about the kingdom and what was going on, but he wanted to take the advice of the younger ones, and he ended up messing up, going the wrong direction, going in the wrong way. Can we pull that up, somebody, and read that? Read it out. 1 Kings 12 and what? I don't want to read all that. We ain't got time to do it. All right. I'm not gonna read all of it. I'm not gonna read all of it. You say 12 and what? You just want, okay, he ain't got that specific. You want to know if those attributes, was that a wisdom, or how you be judged?
Yeah, like what would you call me? Like
look, as long as if they're giving you something contrary to the word, that's what we all can judge you by. That's the only judgment we have. Whatever the word says, if they're giving you something opposite of what it is, then and leading you in the wrong direction, of course, I can only judge you by what the word says. But again, the consequences is going to be there of the actions. Was the consequences favorable or unfavorable? 6 to 11, read.
Okay. So, the sovereign Rehoboam consulted the elders who stood before his father Shalom while he still lived, and he said, "What do you advise me to do to answer these people?" And they spoke to him, saying, "If you are a servant of these people today, and serve them, and shall answer them and speak good words to them, then they shall be your servants all the days." But he ignored the advice that the elders gave him.
Oh, okay, the elders don't know what they're talking about. They old fogey. All right, let's go.
And consulted the young men who had grown up with him, who stood before him.
My homeboys.
Yeah. And he said to them, "What advice do you give? How should we answer this people who have spoken to me, saying, 'Lighten the yoke which your father has put on us'?" And the young men who had grown up with him spoke to him, saying, "Say this to the people who have spoken to you, saying, 'Your father made your yoke heavy, but you make it lighter on us.' Say this to them, 'My little finger is thicker than my father's waist.'" Pause. "And now my father laid a heavy yoke on you, but I add to your yoke. My father flogged you with whips, I will flog you with scourges."
Oh. Does that sound like wisdom? We born in the same decade, and I'm asking you, not that you can't have it, that they couldn't have solid advice, but that wasn't it. You say we want the people to love you, man. We want the people to support you. That's what we're looking for. So that was. So what was some good advice? So the opposite was good advice. Was in, let's go to Exodus, Shemot, when Moses' father-in-law gave him some advice. You remember that one? He said, "Hey, man, you up there gonna burn yourself out. Right? You're gonna burn yourself out, and you need to go ahead and get some people around you that are." So partial. It's partial, but it was still good about. Yeah. You got a mic.
All right. So his advice was partially good, but you remember that the father gave Moshe the Ruach. And so when he gave him the Ruach, remember the elders the ones that he put in charge didn't have the Ruach yet. So remember later on, he says, okay, bring them, and the same Ruach is on you, I will put on them. And then now they can take on the burden, but they couldn't take that burden until then. But so the advice was good, but he should have took that advice back to
Most High. Mm-hmm. All right. So this is examples of, good and bad advice and who you should take advice from, who you shouldn't take advice from. All right. And even at that, you still weighing the matter. Say, out of the mouth of multiple what? Counselors. These things established. You're going to get some wise counselors around you to weigh stuff with. Hey, okay, what do you think? What do you think about this? And don't try to, a lot of times when you share with one person, if they're all in your counseling circle, believe it or not, it's better to just talk to all of them together and say, lay it out on the table and see how they're going to weigh this matter out. Just like the brother did. He went to the elders, then he went to his boys. The homeboys told him, look, man, we're going to run this country. Let me show you how it's done. All right. If there's nothing else, let us stand.
No, Slika Mori, I have one.
You got something? I'm sorry.
I've been waiting. I've been patiently waiting.
Hand.
Proverbs 12:23. And this is the ESV version. A prudent man conceals knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaims folly.
Okay.
So basically, does that mean that like a fool, a person that's an ignorant or a fool can't keep his mouth shut? Even when he doesn't know anything, and the wise person conceals knowledge. I'm having a problem understanding what that means.
It depends on the situation and the person's in. A person that has information that might not be beneficial to everybody that's there present knows when to be quiet, how to hold his tongue, whereas a person who doesn't understand the situation at hand may, reveal information they shouldn't have been revealing. So that would make him a foolish person because he doesn't know how it's going to come across or be laid out. So everybody is supposed to hear everything.
So a wise person speaks when they have something to say, and a fool speaks just to speak.
At times, yes. Because
Okay.
I know something. I got some information. I just want to share it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with that one. I'm going to continue with the wise, foolish, but because I think we need to really delve into that. Not know so much. I know you guys already got it. I'm talking about the younger fellas.
Okay.
All right. All right. Anything else? Let's stand.
Father, we thank you and give you all esteem, honor, and praise. We lift you up on high. We thank you for the word that was given. Help us to walk in it throughout the week, Father. Help us to live your word and be obedient to what you are saying to each and every last one of us. We thank you, Father, for the meal that we're about to receive. We thank you for the fellowship. And we also thank you for blessing us to get home safely. We ask that all our Melekins be encamped over our vehicles as we travel on the highways and byways. We lift you up on high, Most High Elohim, for your loving commitment towards us, and we give you all esteem, honor, and praise. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing before you. O Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Amen.
All right, so once they close
All right.
out, they'll close out
Yeah, close out the
YouTube.
it was